up to another day of Tesla Shorts Time, Daily, episode 505. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. Today is June 9th, 2026. There's a lot to cover in Tesla land today. Tesla's push for a 5,000 vehicle robotaxi fleet in Las Vegas sets the first concrete test of large-scale, unsupervised operations. Tesla has discussed deploying up to 5,000 robotaxis in the Las Vegas region. The proposal would mark one of the largest initial fleet rollouts if approved. Local regulators would need to clear unsupervised operations before any launch. The scale would test both vehicle production capacity and operational logistics simultaneously. While the fleet proposal shows where Tesla wants to go next, the company is already widening its testing footprint far beyond Nevada. Cybercab vehicles have now been documented in Florida. The pattern shows testing activity moving beyond initial hubs in California and Texas. Observers note the vehicles appearing in varied climates and road conditions. This broadens the data collection footprint ahead of any regulatory reviews for unsupervised use. Several Cybercab units were photographed at a service center outside Atlanta. The concentration suggests coordinated testing or preparation activity in the southeast. Local observers documented the vehicles in one location rather than scattered sightings. This adds Georgia to the active testing map. Sightings now cover 16 states plus Washington, D.C. The geographic spread reaches from the West Coast to the Northeast and into the Midwest. Each new location adds real-world driving data across different traffic patterns and regulations. The list continues to grow as more reports surface. Vehicles have been documented from California and Texas to Florida, New York, Georgia, and the Midwest. The spread adds driving data across varied climates, traffic patterns, and regulations. Sightings remain in supervised testing mode. More miles in more places is useful, but it does not erase the everyday reality that today's supervised systems still require attentive drivers. A Tesla driver was recorded asleep at the wheel while traveling on a California highway. The incident highlights ongoing questions about driver engagement during supervised FSD use. Local news captured the event on video and reported it to authorities. It underscores the gap between current supervised operation and future unsupervised claims. Tesla continues to emphasize driver responsibility in all marketing and software prompts. That gap between supervised and unsupervised capability is exactly what investors like Cathie Wood are now pressing on. Cathie Wood raised questions about liability for parking and traffic violations during a recent robotaxi ride. The inquiry points to unresolved operational details in unsupervised service. Musk has not yet responded publicly to the specific concerns. The exchange highlights gaps between current testing and full commercial deployment. Wood publicly asked how Tesla will manage parking and traffic violations once robotaxis operate without drivers. The question came directly after her ride and points to unresolved commercial details. It shows even supportive investors are probing operational gaps. The exchange adds to the list of practical hurdles still ahead of widespread deployment. While liability questions linger, some analysts are already arguing that Tesla's real future value may lie outside cars altogether. Analysts argue Tesla's valuation will increasingly rest on robotics rather than vehicle sales. The shift reflects expectations that Optimus and related programs could outpace automotive margins. The report notes Tesla's existing AI and manufacturing infrastructure as key advantages. Investors are being urged to reframe the company around non-automotive growth. The column argues Tesla's public focus has shifted heavily toward robotics and energy. Vehicle production updates receive less emphasis in recent communications. The piece questions whether this signals a permanent strategic pivot. It reflects growing commentary that automotive volume may no longer drive the company's narrative. Reports suggest valuation will increasingly rest on Optimus and related programs rather than vehicle sales. Tesla's AI and manufacturing infrastructure are cited as structural advantages. The shift reflects expectations that robotics could deliver higher margins. A narrower focus on vehicles could also affect how the market reacts to upcoming external events. Wolfe Research highlighted potential valuation pressure on Tesla shares ahead of the SpaceX IPO. The note cites overlapping investor bases and possible capital rotation. Analysts flag timing risks if the SpaceX offering draws attention away from Tesla. The commentary arrives as Tesla trades near recent highs. Overlapping investor bases could trigger capital rotation away from Tesla. The note arrives while shares trade near recent highs. Timing adds another variable to an already volatile stock. Meanwhile, on the ground, smaller service network moves continue quietly. Fix Auto Tsla received official Tesla approval to service its vehicles. The certification allows the UK shop to handle warranty and repair work on Tesla models. It expands the authorized service network in the region. Tesla has been gradually adding approved body shops to support growing fleet volumes. Fix Auto Tsla became an officially approved Tesla service provider. The move expands authorized repair capacity in Britain as vehicle numbers grow. Certified shops can now handle warranty work directly. It reflects Tesla's continued effort to build out its service footprint beyond company-owned centers. The UK body shop gains official Tesla approval and expands the authorized service footprint in Britain. It supports growing vehicle volumes outside company-owned centers. Not every policy change has landed smoothly, however. Some Cybertruck owners discovered complimentary supercharger access had been enabled without announcement. The access was later found to carry restrictions that limited its practical value. Owners reported confusion over the temporary nature of the benefit. Tesla has not issued an official explanation for the change. Owners noticed complimentary access had been quietly turned on before realizing limits made it largely unusable. The short-lived change left many confused about Tesla's intent. No official statement has clarified the rollout or reversal. It illustrates how even small policy shifts can create customer friction. Cybertruck owners briefly gained, then lost free supercharging after the change was reversed. The short-lived benefit left many confused about intent. Tesla has not issued an official explanation. Focus Partners Advisor Solutions LLC purchased shares of Tesla in the most recent quarter. The filing shows the firm added to its position as part of routine portfolio adjustments. Institutional ownership data continues to reflect ongoing interest from asset managers. The move aligns with broader patterns of incremental buying among smaller advisors. Before we turn to the larger questions raised by today's developments, one incident stands out for what it reveals about the present state of supervised systems. A driver was filmed asleep while the vehicle operated under supervised full self-driving on a public highway. The incident was captured on video and reported locally, drawing attention to driver disengagement risks. It illustrates the persistent gap between current supervised capability and the requirements for unsupervised operation. Tesla continues to emphasize driver responsibility in all marketing and software prompts. Taking a step back from today's headlines, the growing list of cybercab sightings across 16 states, plus Washington, D.C., challenges the assumption that regulatory approval will be the sole bottleneck for robotaxi deployment. The vehicles are already accumulating miles in diverse conditions, yet the path from supervised testing to commercial service remains undefined in most jurisdictions. This raises a sharper question. How much real-world data is actually required before regulators will sign off on unsupervised operation at scale? The concrete constraint is not sensor coverage or mapping, but the absence of a standardized safety case that ties observed performance to acceptable risk thresholds. Tesla has not published the specific metrics or failure rate targets it intends to demonstrate, leaving open how many millions of miles across how many regulatory domains will be needed. Without those benchmarks, the expanding test footprint serves mainly as internal validation rather than external proof. Tesla's vertical integration gives it a structural advantage here. The same team that designs the vehicles, writes the software, and operates the data centers can iterate the safety case in lockstep with hardware and regulatory feedback. Tomorrow, we'll be watching for any further updates on regulatory discussions around unsupervised operations in additional states. That's your Tesla news for today. TSLA closed at $412.32, up $3.37, 0.8%. If you found this useful, a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify really helps new listeners find the show. You can also find us on X at Tsla Shorts Time. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow. And before you go, this show is part of the NARA Network, a family of daily podcasts covering tech, science, markets, and more. If you enjoyed today's episode, give OmniView a listen, a balanced daily world news briefing that takes every side seriously. You can explore the whole lineup at neuranetwork.com. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.